You want to line, you can see the head in the face.
Yeah, I did. They're practicing or something.
They're doing like a mock rescue.
Oh, what?
Mock rescue.
Oh.
So like you guys heard of the dispatch, all we have at this point is a person in the water at the bow of the Hornet, which is a couple of square miles of potential diving in black water. So the first new officer is trying to find a responsible party or a reporting party so they can get an idea of where the person went in. And that's very hard to nail down with someone who saw a victim go in the water. We have to get a really, really strong, what we call last seen point. So that's what Captain Zolmer's doing right now, is he's trying to ascertain exactly where the person went in and what they're dealing with.
Copy of the confirmed subsurface rescue. Setting up for 911. Wait, I'll go point command. Can you give me a call time of 911 response? Alpha Hornet command. 911 calls received at 10:56 hours. 10:56 hours.
The reason that the time is so critical is because we have a 60-minute rescue window. Due to the temperature of the water, we consider all victims submerged to be viable for the first 60 minutes. So we call that our rescue window. So getting the time accurately established is very important to us. What we're doing now is putting our surface water rescue swimmers on top of the area so that the RP can establish the last scene point with a visual aid. You just have to point somewhere in the water, that we have to search that whole area somewhere in the water. What we're doing now is putting our surface water rescue swimmers right on top of the area so the RP can say, yeah, that's a good spot. That's where I saw him go down. So the divers are getting ready to get their equipment on. Because it's so heavy and so cumbersome, they need what we call a Sherpa to help them get all their gear on. All their equipment is very heavy, so they always have one person that knows their equipment inside and out. And that's where the first safety check starts, is when the Sherpa helps them put their gear on. We have Aqualung hazmat certified dry suits and full face masks, and we're always tethered to the shore with a rope that doubles as a comm rope. So we have on-surface communication with the divers at any depth. And that helps in a zero visibility environment. It helps the divers know exactly where they are in the water. A lot of times you can't tell up from down or left from right. And if you're trying to tell the diver where to go, you say, well, hey, go left. They have no idea what left looks like. So what we say is grab your harness, grab your comm line, now do a right-hand search, and that will direct them to the right. Basically what we're doing on all these search patterns is what we call an expanding arc. We're just going to start in a spot closer to the shore from where the victim was last seen, and we're going to build an arc, getting larger and larger farther out until we find the victim. For any dive to take place, we have to start with a primary rescuer, and that primary rescuer can't enter the water until they have a backup rescuer with them, also mic'd into comms. Then we have a 90% rescue diver. That means he's ready 90% of the way. He's got all of his equipment on. He's not wearing a full face mask. He's not wearing his fins yet, but he's ready to go. If the backup diver has to be deployed to save the primary diver, then the 90% diver gets in play. The other member of the team is the line tender. The line tender is in sole communication with the divers while they're underwater, and he has one ear open for the rest of the scene. So he's got a dive safety officer and scribe who's writing down basically an entry permit, so starting off with how much air they have, what their depth is, all those initial things, and then they're also taking all the questions from chief officers that are trying to figure out what's going on. So the scribe and the line tender are two of our most important roles. The line tender is essentially the architect of the entire search pattern. So it's up to them to communicate effectively with the diver where to surf. The diver is just a dope on a rope. That's what we call him. He's just out there in 30 feet of black water, trying to find a search, trying to find a victim in water that he can't see his own hand in. So most of us, when we're down there, as soon as visibility goes all the way to zero, we just keep our eyes closed because you actually can search more effectively without sight. You just close your eyes. So the primary diver is now getting his second safety check. He's going in and doing it's called a buddy check for scuba diving, but he's doing a safety check at the surface, making sure all of his equipment is on and correctly weighted, his dry suit zipped up, and he's going to have one final safety check from the incident safety officer.
Right there.
Because we're making entry above 10 feet, we're going to go ahead and take an extra moment to put fall protection on our divers. This is something we would do at any kind of high angle rescue to make sure that we had a way if they slip off the ladder that they could protect it. So we're taking one extra second to put fall pro on the guys.
On the 90% diver,
Right there. Could be both.
Thing out while we're out here. Yeah, it's too bad. Yeah, better insurance.
Ah, ya,